Hello, it's Rolling95, and we're back with more Mario Maker. In this video, we'll be looking at the creation of my own version of level 2-3 from the original Super Mario Bros. For those of you who don't remember how that level looked or how it played, it's that one level where you ran over the bridge and suddenly fish started flying across the entire screen. Now, the problem with recreating that level or making my own version of it is the fact that the fish don't actually fly over the screen like that, rather they flop along the bottom of the screen, as you can see right here. So, making that level was kind of difficult. Also, since I decided that I was going to use sea enemies on land, I just thought, hey, I have all the Splatoon amiibos, why don't I just put one of them in my level? Makes sense, right? So yeah, I just put the Inkling Girl because that's, out of all the amiibo costumes, or Splatoon amiibo costumes, it's one I like the most. So let's talk about the general design idea for this level, and why it's so flat. And the reason for it is simply because this level was rushed, and I tried to go from memory how the design of the level went, so it's even more flat than the general levels in Super Mario Bros. 1. Now, my favorite part about the original level is the fact that you could very easily just run quickly through the level. It was set up like that. But at the same time, I felt like I had to kind of try to make it interesting, rather than just having it flat, so I introduced, well, the bloopers here. And to make sure that the players could actually, well, basically fight the bloopers, I needed to add vertical elements to the level so that they could, well, jump on them, which I added right earlier with the towering blocks, or like the towering platform with the blocks in them. Beyond that, it's just kind of a bunch of flat areas with platforms formed. You might have also noticed that you actually have sound from the game this time around. Well, it's sped up. And that's because, as I mentioned, this video, or this level, was rushed. It took me like half an hour both to test it and to create it, like combined. And that was because I was heading out, so I just thought, well, just have 4% speed increase instead. Now, one thing I tried to do to make the fish a bit more of an interesting obstacle is to add wings to them, therefore they have more, they stay up for a longer period. So I added that elevated platform earlier on to kind of justify them being there. Now, one problem that I kind of met early on is, since I wanted there to be enough running speed, or enough open space for a player to actually get some speed and also have some flow to the level, I ran out of space almost immediately. Like, what is this? This is like real time. This is like 12 minutes in, and I've almost already used the entire span of the level. That's not particularly good. I even end up using slightly less in it, because I thought right here that I wanted to have some kind of additional vertical element, and then I realized, wait, I'm at the end of the level, I can't even fit that. So let's instead make it so that you'll have to jump off of the blooper to reach the top of the flagpole. So I'm using the trails tool there, so that you can see basically the jump arc, and I plan on putting more coins to it later. Now, already the basic layout for the level is done. Right now I just need to add like enemies. Right now I'm adding like enemies and also more coins to accommodate for the actual dynamic part of the level. Now, early on here I decided to have green Cheep Cheeps, which is something I changed up later on in the level simply because the red Cheep Cheeps follow you while the green one just keeps on skipping ahead. So I wanted it to be more of a persistent challenge, so I changed them to red. Not even sure why I'm telling you this, I could tell you that later. So, even though this is a very flat level, there's a lot of testing, like testing on your own, to just test the jump arcs, to make sure that the game that the level has a fun flow to it, because from a gameplay perspective, that's all this level actually has. It's really just, does this flow well? If it doesn't, well, then the level just straight out isn't fun. Also, one thing just to note, it doesn't matter how high you place the fish, they will always jump along the same arc. So for those of you wondering why I'm putting the fish at different heights, that's just me being silly. So right here, I'm just trying to speedrun through the level. I did, however, test it once all this was over to see if it was actually manageable to do this level without ever running. Like I always do. I just didn't keep recording of it because then it would literally then the half the level or half the video would just be me running, playing through the level over and over again. So yeah, I feel like there should have been more. I had more to say about this. Yeah, right here I'm realizing that, yeah, I could just... The problem with setting arcs with coins from first up a hill and then down the hill is you will always have different jump arcs from when you jump down up to the platform rather than down to it. So keeping symmetrical arcs like that wasn't really an idea, so I just came up with the idea like, hey, why don't I just skip over the platform in general? Which actually ended up working, with basically minimal efforts in actually alternating the level. Now, one thing I kind of like about the level, that was completely accidental, is how the bloopers act. Bloopers, for those of you who don't know, has this weird quirk to them where they will never, if you're staying along the floor and don't jump or anything, the bloopers will never reach you. So there's this level of perceived challenge. Also right here in the playtest session, I just play through the level, through running through. As you can see, as long as you're running, the enemies will never actually touch you. So it looks a lot more exciting than it actually is. So this level is significantly harder if you decide to walk through it, which is a side effect that the original level also had, which was accidentally created. So the level looks a lot more exciting than it actually is. And here's the download code. But yeah, this was kind of a rushed level, and it's also one of my weaker creations because of that. But it's good enough. I wouldn't have uploaded it if it wasn't. So, that's it for this video. And don't worry, I won't change up the format next time, where it's like, oh, let's just play through a level next time. I do have footage recorded for the next couple of videos for playthroughs like these, and hopefully they're... Oh, I actually already know they'll be longer, so see you guys then.